Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Indah Shazwani binti Ahmad Firdaus, nama matrik 1192813 from Group KMA 1. Al-Mudarabah. Al-Mudarabah is an arrangement of a silent partnership comprises of capital and labor. It may be concluded between investment account holder as providers of funds and the Islamic bank as a mudarib. The capital is entrusted to the manager, promotes mutual consent among the partners and channels funds to the productive use. In Quran Surah Jumu'ah ayat 10, A'udzubillahi minasyaitanirrajim. فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ means, and when the prayer has been concluded, disperse within the land and seek from the bounty of Allah, and remember Allah often that you may succeed. In Hadith Nabi Muhammad SAW, An Ibn Abbas qala, Kana Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib idza daf'a mala mudariba ishtaratu ala sahibahu illa yasluka bihi bahran wala yanzilu bihi wadiyan wala yashtari bihi zata kabada ratba fa in fa'ala fa huwa dhamin farafa'a syartuhu ila Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fa ijaza. Means, Ibn Abbas said that Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, if he gives funds to his business partner in a mudarabah way, then he requires that his funds should not be taken across the ocean, down dangerous valleys, or by livestock. If it violates the rules, then the person in charge is responsible for the funds. The conditions were conveyed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so Rasulullah also allowed it. Okay, this is the several products and bank that use in this concept. Firstly, Affin Islamic Bank, their product is Al-Mudarabah Junior Saver and Al-Mudarabah Will Saver. Secondly, Al-Rajahi Bank, their product is Mudarabah Saving Account and Mudarabah Children's Saving Account. Thirdly, Bank Muamalat, which is Mudarabah General Investment Account, GIA. Fourthly, Bank Rakyat, the product is Nuri Saving Account, Shabab Saving Account, Tawfir Saving Account, Kirat Investment Account, and Kirat Investment Account Senior Citizen. Fifthly, Maybank Islamic Banking. The product is Murabaha Cash Line Facility, Mudarabah Investment Account, and Premier Mudarabah Account. And lastly, RHB Islamic Bank. The product is Term Financing. Okay, next is commitments and condition. Al-Mudarabah have 4 commitments. Firstly, capitalist. Secondly, entrepreneur. Thirdly, things that being contract. Lastly, contract which is supply, ijab, and acceptance kabul. This is the condition of Al-Mudarabah. Firstly, capitalist. The condition is, first, must be a person who is puberty, sensible, and sane. Second, if not yet puberty, must obtain permission from his guardian to handle the matter. Third, must be a non-bankrupt. And lastly, the treatment of saving the subject of storage is voluntary. There are no element of coercion. Secondly, entrepreneur. The condition is, first, must be a person who has reached puberty, intelligent, and sane. Second, if not yet puberty, must obtain permission from his guardian to handle the matter. Third, must be a non-bankrupt. And lastly, the treatment of saving the subject of storage is voluntary. There are no elements of coercion. Thirdly, of commitments is things that being contract. Here, the condition of things that being contract have 3 things. Firstly, capital. Secondly, project of business. And thirdly, determination of profits. The condition of capital, firstly, must consist of cash determined during the contract. Secondly, capital rate should be known. Thirdly, must be cash, exist and not in the form of debt. And lastly, must be submitted to the entrepreneur. Secondly, for project or business, the condition is entrepreneurs should be given the freedom to run a project without any restrictions in business dealings. Thirdly, determination of profits. The condition is first, the profit should be known at the rate, and second, the profit should be in the percentage ratio. Lastly, of commitments is contracts which is supply, ijab, and acceptance, qabul. The condition is, firstly, there must be an agreement that is the offer and acceptance either through speech, writing, gesture and actions that are clear and understood by the relevant parties. Secondly, there must be accuracy and consistency between offer and acceptance. Thirdly, must continue to offer valid until perfect acceptance. No withdrawal of offer before acceptance. Lastly, the offer must refer to the subject or subject contracted and meet the conditions. Next, application of Al-Mudarabah contract. These are several applications of Al-Mudarabah contract. Firstly, simple partnership. One party comes with capital and another party comes with labor, and they participate in profits according to the predetermined ratio. Any losses will be borne by the capital provider. Only an agent manager Mudarib loses his time and effort. Secondly, investment account. This investment can be either general name with general investment account GIA or specific name with specific investment account SIA. GIA is a ready package of Mudarabah contract with a standard profit sharing ratio, whereas SIA is a restricted Mudarabah contract with a negotiable profit sharing ratio. In SIA, the funds are to be managed separately while the funds in GIA are accumulated and managed on a pool basis. Usually, SIA is applied for a relatively big amount of investment. Thirdly, project financing. In the case of project financing, the traditional method of Mudarabah and Musyarakah can be easily adopted. If the financier wants to finance the whole project, the form of Mudarabah can come into operation. If investment comes from both sides, the form of Musyarakah can be adopted. In this case, if the management is the sole responsibility of one party, while the investment comes from both, a combination of Musyarakah and Mudarabah can be brought into play according to the rules and injunctions. Lastly, Mudarabah in industrial operations. A pure case of Mudarabah in an industrial operation will be one in which one person A. finances an industrial project, say a shoe factory, which is managed solely by another person B. The factory is set up from the scratch with A's money, and in the end everything including the used machinery is sold out, so that nothing remains of the project but cash. Assuming a profitable ending, A's capital would first be paid back to him and the remaining cash will be distributed between A and B in the proportion agreed in the beginning. In case the amount of cash in the end is less than what A had invested, there is a loss. B gets nothing and A takes back what is left of his capital. Lastly, conclusion. To conclude, Mudarabah is a solely Sharia-based transaction. In modern times, the classical application of the Mudarabah contract has been extended to cover various businesses. However, full potential Mudarabah technique of financing not yet been realized. It is understood that various problems and interference have impeded the successful implementation of PLS contracts in general and Mudarabah in particular. In addition, practicing Mudarabah is more difficult compared to Musyarakah and so on, since in Mudarabah bank does not have any involvement in venture and the management will be left solely to the Mudarib. Consequently, high confidence on the ability of the Mudarib to manage the business is extremely needed.